Okay, so today we are talking about inscribed quadrilaterals. If a quadrilateral is inscribed inside a circle, then the opposite angles are supplementary. So if I take a look at this, these two angles are across from each other. So the measure of angle A added to the measure of angle C will equal 180 degrees. And these two are opposite each other. So the measure of angle B plus the measure of angle D will equal 180 degrees. Okay, so on number 1, I have that J and L are across from each other. So I know that those two are going to add up to 180. I have J plus 92 equals 180. So then I just want to go ahead and subtract 92 from both sides. And then I figure out what the measure of angle J is. So let me open up a Desmos. I want to do 180 minus 92, which gets me 88. Okay. Then I want to do the same thing over here. I have M as across from K. So I was in the middle of explaining how to find the measure of angle K. So this one is across from M, so I'm going to add it to M and set it equal to 180. So then I want to go ahead and subtract 45 on both sides. So I can go to Desmos and type this in. Which gets me 135. Questions on number 1? Okay, so on number 2, I have some arc lengths, an inside angle, and I need to figure out P, R, and S. So I am going to start off with S and R. This arc length, just kidding, I'm not going to start off with S and R. I'm going to start off with R. This arc length for R, nope. How do I want to do this? P, oh yeah. So I know that this arc length is for P. And I can find that by taking 360 and subtracting the 126 and the 90. Huh? Because a full circle is 360? It's 360 minus 126 minus 90, because I'm trying to find the piece I've highlighted in yellow. Okay. So then if I go to Desmos, I can figure this out. Which gets me 144 for the part I've highlighted in yellow. Thank you. But remember, to find the measure of angle P, this is half of that. So I am going to take 144 and divide by 2 to get my value of P. So 144 divided by 2. Gets me 72. So my measure of angle P is 72. Then I can go ahead and find my R and S. Remember, opposite angles add to 180. So if I'm looking for P and R, I know P now. That's 72 plus R is going to equal 180. So then I want to subtract 72 on both sides. And that gets me R equals 108. Then I want to do the same thing for S. This is opposite Q, so I'm going to add the 93 to S, and this should equal 180. Then I want to go ahead and subtract 93 on both sides. This gets me S equals 87. Questions on number 2? Okay. So number 3, if I take a look at this, I'm going to start off with X on this one. So I have my arc length here, where I can find that by adding those two angles together. If I find that, half of that is going to be my X value. So I'm going to do 101 plus 67. Which gets me 168, and that's the total length of the part I highlighted in yellow. Then I want to go ahead and remember, to get the angle measure, I divide by 2. So I'm going to do 168 divided by 2. So if I go to Desmos, me 84, which is my measure of x. So now that I know x, I can find v because I know opposite angles add to 180. So I have v plus 84 equals 180. Then I want to go ahead and subtract 84 on both sides. So I can go ahead and type that into Desmos, which gets me 96 for v. Then finally I need to solve for w. This one is across from y, so I'm going to have 51 plus w equals 180. Then I want to go ahead and subtract 51 on both sides. Bless you. Oops, I want 180. This gets me 129. Number 4 wants me to find the measure of angle A. So my arc across from A is right here. I want to go ahead and add those two up and then divide by 2. So I want to add 61 and 147. Which gets me 208. So this is the total arc length right here. So I want to divide that by 2 to get my A. Which gets 104. Then I'm going to find C because that's across from me. So I have 104 plus C equals 180. Then I'm going to go ahead and subtract 104 on both sides. This gets me C equals 76. Whoever's playing a game on their phone should stop. Okay, the next thing I'm going to find is angle D, because I have the arcs across from it. So I'm going to add those together. That is 39 and 61. Which gets me 100. So this orange arc I've highlighted is 100. To find D, I'm going to divide by 2, which gets me 50. Then to find B, I want to go ahead and subtract from 180, because B is across from D. 180 minus 50 gets me 130. Questions on number 4? Okay. So number 5 wants me to solve for x. So again, I have opposite angles. I want to add these together and set equal to 180. Oops, that was my side. Okay. Then I want to go ahead and combine like terms. So I have 68 minus 5, which if I go to Desmos, gets me 63. So 63 plus 9x equals 180. Then I want to go ahead and subtract 63 from both sides. Gets me 9x equals 117. Then I want to go ahead and get x alone, so I'm going to divide both sides by 9. Which gets me 13. Okay, so same thing on number 6. I have these two opposite angles, so I want to go ahead and add them together and set them equal to 180. Then I want to go ahead and add like terms, so I have 133 and I'm adding 62. Which gets me 195. Then I want to go ahead and subtract 195 from both sides. So I get negative 5x on the left, and then 180 minus 195 gets us negative 15. So then I can go ahead and divide both sides by negative 5, which gets me x equals positive 3. Okay, so moving on to number 7, it wants me to solve for x, but before I can do this, I don't know my angle across from it. I do, however, know these two arc measures, so I can go ahead and add those up together and divide by 2 to find my measure of angle n. Then I want to go ahead and add these. So I have 91 plus 1, that was not a plus, 135, which gets me 226. Then I want to go ahead and divide 226 to find out my measure of angle n. So then I want to go ahead and divide that, which gets me 113. So now I can go ahead and use my opposite angles, add up to 180. So I have 113 plus 15x minus 23 equals 180. Then I want to combine like terms, so I'm going to add the 113 and the negative 23 together, which gets me 90. Then I want to go ahead and subtract 90 on both sides. So I get 15x equals 90. Then I want to go ahead and divide both sides by 15. This gets me 6. So, questions on number 7. Okay. So number 8 is going to be the same way. I need to first find the angle measure for H, and I know my arc measures for GJ and JI. So when I add those together, I have 50 plus 96. Ooh, 50, not 500. Gets me 146. So then I want to take half of that to find the measure of angle H. Which gets me 73. Now I can add my angles and set it equal to 180. So I'm going to have 73 plus 12x minus 25 equals 180. I'm going to combine like terms, so I'm going to do 73 minus 25. Which gets me 48. Then I want to go ahead and subtract 48 on both sides. So I get 12x equals 132. Then I can go ahead and divide both sides by 12. Which gets me 11. That should be the answer. Okay. So on number 9, it gives me two angles, and they're both across from each other, so I can plug in. This one is 5x plus 1. This one is 13x minus 37. So I can go ahead and start off by adding these together and setting it equal to 180. Then I can go ahead and combine like terms. I have 5x and 13x. 5 plus 13 gets me 18. Then I have 1 minus 37, which gives me negative 36. Then I want to go ahead and add 36 to both sides. So 180 plus 36 gets me 216. Then you can go ahead and divide both sides by 18. Which gets me 12. This question, however, isn't asking me to find x, it's asking me to find the measure of angle y. So I want to plug back in x. Into the y equation. So the measure of angle y equals 13, and I'm going to multiply by 12 instead of x, minus 37. Then I can go into Desmos, and I can type this entire thing in there. So I can do 13 times 12 minus 37, which gives me my final answer of 119. Questions here?